भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तककेशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानगकेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। The last two sessions we have looked at the primary topics of Purushartha and Shastras. So starting from goals, as a human being, all of us have got goals, and whatever actions we are doing is based on those goals. So then we looked at how do we achieve those goals, right? So all of us have got goals and we need help to achieve the goals. Therefore, initially we depend or we think that we ourselves can achieve that. Whatever we want to achieve, we have got the capacity to achieve. But after some time, based on our own experience, we find that sooner or later we need external help. Right? There's a fallibility, it's called fallibility. Means falling. As we say, Ishvara is infallible. And like a child, starting from, initially, mother is the entire world. Mother can do everything. So we start with Mata. Right? Matra Devo Bhava. For the child, mother fulfills all the needs. Whatever it asks for, the mother fulfills. Till a point of time when the child sees that the mother is asking somebody else for help. A cockroach is there in the house, or a spider is there, so the child finds that the mother is no longer infallible, the mother is also asking for help. So there is somebody else who is coming into the picture. So the father comes. After some time, the child finds that the father is also not infallible. He is also asking for help from somebody else. Right? So that concept of infallibility keeps getting revised to such a point that even as adults we keep looking for that infallibility. What is it that which would give me ultimate security, ultimate happiness? And therefore Shastras come into the picture and say, yes, I am here to help you. So we looked at from a technical point of view what are the various classification of scriptures, because the very pertinent and practical question is that where do I start? I'm doing certain things or I'm not doing anything now. Where should I start? It is so vast. That is why we looked at it, the primary body being the Vedas. Then it is given in cryptic form as sutras, and then you have got Puranas, then you have got Itihasas, the Upanishads. We looked at the various classification and what is the purpose of each of that particular text. Right? So we looked at the broad classification of Vedas as, 4 Vedas it has been classified into. Why it was classified like that? We said we didn't touch upon that. It's too vast to cover in 1 hour, but it doesn't matter. Even if we take some more time to clarify that, it is good. Why it was divided into 4 different Vedas?
Because of their forms in which they were. Because of one is in poetic form,
right.
Other one is in the prose form,
right.
Third one is in the musical form,
right.
And the last one is in the mantra form. And
that is one thing. But you will find there are common mantras which are there or it is applicable to all the Vedas. Right? But from a point of view of handing it over to subsequent generations, how it has been handed over, how it has been preserved so far. Such a vast treasure. Of course, so many branches have been lost. We don't even know how many has been lost. Researchers are still trying to find out all those things. But that is a historical part of it, chronological part of it. But whatever is available also, is it possible for me to complete the study of that in one particular lifetime? It is not. Therefore, there was a necessity based on utility. It was necessary that there are divisions are created. It has been divided into 4 parts and handed over down to, it was handed over to specific rishis telling that, yes, you please ensure that this branch is being protected and passed on. That is why, once the Upanayanam is done, you say that yes, you are from this particular Shakha of the Vedas. You say Yajush Shakha Adhyayi, or you are from the Samaveda. Right? So, different people are saying, yes, I am coming from the lineage of this particular Rishi who is protecting and perpetuating the Samaveda or the Yajurveda or the Rigveda. Right? So we will come back to the question of Upanayanam and all this thing. When we look at Varnashrama Dharma, we will come to that. So it has been designed in such a way that it is protected and it is handed over, because this is always for the sake of handing over to the next generation. We saw Karna Parampara, Shruti. That is the way it has to be handed down, and that is the way it has been always. That's why you will find even in traditional Veda Pathashalas, no books are used. The maximum learning you would have experienced in the class also, even with our own children, that they learn very fast till the time they start reading. The moment they start reading, the learning capacity comes down. Right? Why is it so? Because when you are listening, and if you have a video also, if it is along with audio, visual, the learning is fast because it combines all the modes of learning. And so even in the class we say for sloka chanting, we tell the children, please look at the lips of the teacher. Don't close your eyes while chanting this, learning the sloka. Because that itself is an input. If you look at the science of how the deaf communicate, the lip reading, they communicate, their body language is there, lip reading is there, so it increases the learning process. So that is how it has been passed down. So we looked at all those things, Sutra, Smriti. Smriti is that which has been remembered and then given in different forms. Puranas, Itihasa, then the Bhashyams which are there. And then we looked at the other classification also, Veda Angas, which is the Shiksha, Vyakaranam, because for any language you need all these things. Phonetics, grammar, prosody, which is meter, etymology, the dictionary, then Jyotisha, which is astronomy and astrology put together is Jyotisha, kalpa, which is the know-how of rituals, and then the upangas, which is mimamsa, which is analysis, nyaya, logic, dharma shastra, which is the code of conduct, and purana. Then upavedas, because we also hear the Veda associated with Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, etc. So Ayurveda is of medicine, Dhanurveda is of armament and warfare, Gandharva Veda is of arts, and Arthashastra is of administration, statecraft. Then there are 7 more other literary works like Vastu Shastra, Shilpa Shastra, Agama Shastra. So we'll see as we go along, wherever the reference comes, we'll come back to these points. So the idea of this 1 hour is just to give an overview. But questions will keep coming. Right? And where do I start? That we will come to. As we go into the next 2-3 sessions, that also will get clear. Any questions so far?
Veda Angas are the limbs of Vedas.
The limbs of the Vedas.
So the other one, Upavedas, not Upavedas. I think
Upangas.
Upangas.
Yes.
And the Vedas limbs are not one and the same.
They are not the same. They are different. Yeah. Angas, Veda Angas, and Upa Angas. The secondary ones which are there. Okay. So the next topic which comes here is the Varna dharma and Ashrama dharma. Now we looked at goals, we looked at how I can achieve the goals. It is through the Shastras, they are going to give me the guidance. But again, coming back to the example of driving. Yeah, my goal is going from place A to place B. That is my goal. I want to commute every day, or once in a week I have to go here, there. So then I have to go and ask somebody, how do I do this? Then they will say, oh, you have to get a license. Okay, license is fine. What about the vehicle? Oh, you have to buy a vehicle. There are procedures for that. Oh, then you have to register it. Every year you have to go to renew that. How will I get from A to B? Oh, you have to know the route. Oh, how will I know that? Oh, there are roads are there. Oh, this country, these are the rules of driving. Correct? What is my goal? Is my goal just to drive? Okay, sometimes we say, okay, I want to just drive out. Okay, that is the goal, is to just drive around. But even for that, I have to follow the rules and regulations which are provided with respect to the vehicle, with respect to the road, with respect to the place where I am driving, etc. I have to follow the rules and regulations. I have to know that first. And then there is a certification which is required. Somebody qualifies me and say that yes, you can do this. So these are called the infrastructure which is provided. For what purpose?
To drive safely.
To drive safely. The goal is from point A to point B, but it has to be with the considering the safety of the person, the individual, to meet the individual's goals without adversely affecting others, the environment. So the car has to have a non-polluting certificate, the engine has to be proper, the right kind of fuel. Why? Pollution has to be reduced, the environment has to be protected. Right? Can I say, no, my goal is going from A to B, let me do whatever I want. It is my car, it is my money. Cannot. Right?
Cannot disturb others.
Right. So can I say that no, this is too restrictive, you are putting so much conditions? Why are you putting so many conditions? I have been driving for 20 years in some other country. They say no, in this particular place, this is the dharma to be followed. Why? This is for your own good. It may appear as restrictions, it may appear as additional effort which is required, but it is for your own good. It is to help you to meet your goals. Right? As well as to take care of the society. There are societal goals which are there. Right? So there are dharma which is applicable to only to me, which is called Vishesha Dharma, specific to me as an individual. Then there is Samanya Dharma, which is universal laws, which is applicable to everybody. I cannot violate the universal laws for the sake of Vishesha Dharma, specific to to myself, I cannot violate. It cannot be in conflict with each other. Therefore, an infrastructure is provided. Therefore, a discipline is instilled. Therefore, there are deterrents which are there. Therefore, there are punishments which are there. All for the sake of what? Oh, why are you punishing me? I am also a human being. Why are you hurting me? Because I was told that I should not do this. This is the speed limit. I should not jump the red light. For my own good as well as for the good of others. Oh, seat belt. Oh, it is my car. Why should I wear seat belt? It is for your safety. Therefore, it is enforced. Because if you are not safe, then the society also will not be safe. It can harm others. Your family will not be protected if you are not being protected. Therefore, Shastras also give the same kind of an infrastructure. Right? It may appear restrictive. It may appear that I am being over-disciplined. I am being given too many things to do. But if we understand as a primary thing that it is for my benefit, just like coming back to the example of mother and father. The child will think that why am I being punished? Yeah? No, we say that it is for your own good. Right? But at that time they are not yet ready to understand that. They are not capable of understanding. Therefore punitive measures, restrictions are there, punitive measures are also there. But once they start understanding, we ease back on the restrictions, we ease back on the punitive measures. In that you are capable of understanding now. Right? Therefore it is replaced with understanding, it is replaced with knowledge of why this is being done, what is the right thing to be done and why it is to be done so. Right? So in a similar fashion, if we have to achieve our goals, we said yeah, Purushartha is fine, starting with Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha, right? And Shastras are there, we also need an infrastructure to achieve my goals. Therefore, this first infrastructure which is given is called the Varna dharma. Okay? What is their understanding now of Varna? You would have heard this term probably already. What is the meaning of Varna?
Colors.
Varna, yeah. Literal meaning we can say colors.
Classification.
Classification of what?
Different kind of work we are doing.
Different kind of work we are doing, you can be classified. Fine. What other classification can be there? Based on character,
Guna based.
guna, based on the traits of a person, qualities of a person. Right? Whenever we say that there is a division or there are groups, always now I say okay, in this room there are two groups. What will be your first question? Based on what?
Based on age.
Right? It can be based on anything. Right? Can be based on age, it can be based on gender, it can be based on where you are staying, how old, what is the age bracket. It can be based on so many things. So the moment we say there is a division, the automatic question which will come is that what is the basis of the division? Right? So Varna, yes, it is also translated as color, but it just says a division, a group based on certain characteristics which we are attributing there. Right? So the Varna dharma which is there, it is a societal scheme. We looked at the driving example, there is a societal norms and an individual norms to be followed. What are the four Varnas? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. What is our understanding about these four? Let us start with our current understanding and then build on that.
Kshatriya is based on he is a king, he is very good in administration, warfare.
So you are talking about action there, karma. So there is a karma kshatriya. Good. 1 point.
And also dynamic in nature.
They are dynamic in nature, right?
Strong will.
strong willpower, strong physically also they have to be strong. So Kshatriya, that is Karma Kshatriya. What others? What about Brahmana?
Spiritually inclined. More of sattvic knowledge.
More of sattvic is a guna thing. Doing pujas etc. becomes karma. Knowledge is also, it can be karma as well as a guna. Being able to learn and teach. Right? What about, and one more aspect?
He wants to know who I am and who is God. He knows.
Yeah, there will be more of contemplation which is there. So that comes out of sattva guna. More introspective. Right? So that is the guna part of it. So we analyzed now already two terms we have seen. One is guna based, another is karma based. Right? What about Vaishya?
Finance.
More as finance, business, trading. So that is also karma.
For self-growth.
More of selfish actions.
Dynamic, they are more of self-centered.
Let us not debate. Let us just get the points out. Then we'll debate and build on that. Right? So that is karma vaishya there. What about Shudra?
Worker class.
So that is again karma based. They work, they don't have any specific duties, they just do what they are told to do. They work for the sake of others. Right? Now two standpoints we have already seen. One is karma based and the other is guna based. There's one more division, one more aspect based on which this division is done. What is that? Which is the most common thing which we always hear and where all the confusions are there.
By birth?
By birth. By birth, jatitaha we say that this person is a Brahmana, this is a Kshatriya, this is a Vaishya, or this is a Shudra. Or none of the above. Right? So, three aspects are there. 3 points of the standpoints. We have to understand this very clearly. Okay? Jati. What does the word jati means? Though crudely today it is being totally, that's one of the most misinterpreted word which is there. What exactly does it mean?
The duty being carried on.
No, that is karma. Jati, janma, jananam, it all comes from ja. Based on birth. Right? Based on birth, there is no other choice. Yeah, you are born in this particular thing, so you are classified. Like that, yes, you belong to, you are a jati brahmana, or you are a jati kshatriya, or a jati vaishya, or a jati shudra. Right? For the time being, let us say that I don't have a choice over it. We'll come back to this point. Right? So, by birth, there is no choice. And then, based on that, I am told that because you are in this particular jati, you have to follow certain things. There is an infrastructure there, based on the jati. Because of this, you have to follow this. There is a kula dharma, there is a jati dharma. Samskaras are given, which are the rituals. In each stage of life it is given. Now, is there a gradation between the jatis in terms of telling that no, a jati brahmana is higher or a jati kshatriya is higher than a jati vaishya or jati shudra is lower? Is there a gradation?
No.
Strictly? Is that what the general feeling is, or are you talking from an ideal perspective?
We are following that the gradation is there.
It is being perceived like that. Right? Though the traditional methodology under which the scheme has been given is that, suppose I say that the person driving a Nissan Sunny is lower to a person driving a Mercedes. Let us go back to that. It's a very good example, driving example. Though we cannot say that there's nothing to do with the person. This is what he is driving, so how can we classify that person is of a lower category? It is an infrastructure which is given. Correct? Or a person driving at 60 kilometers is lower than one driving at 140 kilometers. He cannot, right? Based on certain conditions, they have been told to do that. Similarly, jati based also by janma, it is not based on the person's own choice. So there is no gradation there. That is the way it is intended to be. That's the way it is supposed to be. Yeah? And it has been misinterpreted, totally as the caste system for various reasons. We'll have, opportunities to discuss that again. Now let us come to the second standpoint, karma. Right? So the same Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra is also talked about from a karma point of view. Right? Like the examples which you already told. A Kshatriya is supposed to be taking care of the state or army. Kshatat trayate iti Kshatriya. You saw that definition. He is supposed to act by his own karma, where he has to inflict injury on the others. It is his duty to do it. A person in the army cannot, at the time of war is declared, he cannot tell his superior telling that, sorry, ahimsa paramo dharma, therefore I will not fire. His duty is to fight. Right? That is his dharma. Correct? So Brahmana, karma Brahmana. What is a karma Brahmana, or who is a karma Brahmana? Who is doing, and there are duties which are prescribed for a karma Brahmana with respect to studying the Vedas and also teaching,
imparting knowledge,
doing rituals, not only for the sake of themselves but for the sake of others also. A driving instructor would be driving his own car, he has to do that, but he has also got the responsibility of teaching others to drive. Right? So it is supposed to be the duty of the Brahmana or a karma Brahmana in terms of studying the Vedas. So the first point gets answered here. Who should study what? Right? And therefore it is their responsibility to study the entire Veda which is allocated to them as per their branch. They have to study the entire thing and also pass it down to the next generation. And whatever is required for others, the minimum required, he has to pass it on to the others, teach others. Like a karma Kshatriya or a karma Vaishya or a karma Shudra, they also have certain duties to perform. They also have to do their own pujas, etc. Their own rituals they have to do. So who is going to teach them? It is the karma Brahmana. Just like a doctor, for all of us health is very important. But we say that, no, then let me go and study medicine myself. Because it is my health, my family's health, so I should also study medicine. Can I study everything what is there? No, I need a computer, so let me go and learn how to assemble a computer. So I go to the specialist. I need not study everything, I cannot study everything. Correct? So I go to the specialist who is already qualified and then take their services. So a karma Brahmana's duty is to study and then teach. Not just teaching the other Brahmanas, down the line, their own community, but also all the others as well in terms of what minimum they are supposed to do, because their Kshatriya's primary duty is in terms of taking care of the state in whatever way, whether it is administration or army or whatever it is. Right? So Brahmana has got actually 6 duties. It is called Pathanam and Pathanam. Pathanam is studying and Pathanam is teaching. Then it is Yajanam and Yajanam. It is a ja. Very careful there. Yajanam means doing yajnas and Yajanam means doing yajnas on behalf of others. Because he is a specialist. Everybody need not know all the yajnas and rituals which need to be done. Correct? Whatever home remedies, we'll do it ourselves. But when I need a specialist, I go to somebody else. Then, Dhanam and Pratigraha, the 6-fold duties of a Brahmana, of a Karma Brahmana. Right? Dhanam, giving Dhanam, and he is the only person who is qualified to receive Dhanam while doing yajnas for the sake of others. Because he is a Grihastha, we will come back. Ashrama Dharma, he is a Grihastha. He has to sustain himself. He has got family duties. Therefore, he needs artha. Correct? Therefore, he will receive dhanam from others, but then he also has to give. The general principle is that end of the day they are not supposed to keep anything balanced with them. Whatever is earned that day, the needs are fulfilled and the balance is again given back in dhanam. Why it is not being done today? We will come back. It's a very
That is called as pratigraha.
pratigraha. Means receiving. Yeah, receiving dhanam from others. Okay?
Dhanam no one else can do apart from the brahmana.
Can be done.
Dhanam, no, here we are talking about receiving. Pratigraha is receiving can be done only by the brahmana. I'm sorry if I told the other way. Pratigraha can be done only by the brahmana. Only he can receive the dana. Giving, of course, others have to give. All grihasthas have to give dana. Yeah. Kshatriya, we saw that. Vaishya, karma Vaishya. So karma Kshatriya is one who does the duties with respect to army or state administration, etc., or politics. Karma Vaishya is the one who is doing business, who is in common, because that is also required for the society. Correct? So, this is all based on societal norms. The Vedas have to be protected, the rituals have to be protected. Somebody has to study the whole thing and teach. Therefore, you got karma brahmanas. They are allocated that duty. Karma kshatriyas, because the country and the state has to be protected. Somebody has to there to administer the whole thing. Therefore, you have got karma kshatriyas. Then what about how will commerce and trade happen? Somebody has to take care of that. The country doesn't have the entire grains which the people require. It has to be brought from somewhere else, right? Okay, olden days it was barter system. Then of course currency came, exchange came, then currency came, and therefore somebody has to take care of the production and the marketing, etc., trading. That is a karma vaishya. It's a vaishya karma. Okay, and then you have got jobs which doesn't fit into any of these categories, where they have to help all the other three. It is not again looked down upon. It is there to help, just like an office. Everybody's job is important, right? You cannot say that the CEO's job is the most important, whereas the sweeper's job is not at all important. Within that thing, yes, they are allocated a certain thing based on what they are capable of doing, which is for the benefit of themselves as well as for the company. They are being appointed there for the benefit of the company, right? They are being paid high and given all the perks for the sake of what? Not because the owners of the company like this person very much, it is because what he is capable of doing. Based on that, he has been given a compensation. But you cannot say that this job is higher in nature as compared to this particular job, the other job. So there need to be people who are serving the other three also. So here also can we say there is a gradation? This job is better, that job is better? Huh?
No.
It is not supposed to be there. Let us be very open about it, very frank about it. It's not supposed to be there. Yeah?
But it is there.
It is there.
It is there. Yeah, it is again the creation. Yeah? Because every job is important. Every person's job is important. Right? So, with respect to jati, there is no gradation. With respect to karma, there is no gradation. Now, how do you choose this karma? What was your question?
My question is, as you said, according to jati, there is no gradation.
Right.
That means all the jati are at par, are equal.
Absolutely, because the very meaning of jati is because you are born in a certain place. There is, you are born in a certain family who is a Brahmana family or a Kshatriya family or a Vaishya family. How can you be classified that just because you are born there that you are higher or lower? Yeah. So again, we are talking about ideal situation. We'll see, why it has come to this and where is the root cause of all these things. If we can analyze that. Now, how do you choose the karma? Who decides what karma you are supposed to do?
Our interest.
Your skill.
According to interest, according to skill, your ability. When will you know what is your ability?
When we go to a guru or a teacher.
Let us take our own cases, what we are seeing around us in our own
In a
family.
particular department wherein we are interested,
Huh?
in a particular thing where we are interested.
Does it
in-
happen 100% of the time like that? Huh? You'll find that even with us or with our children also we'll face this dilemma. They'll say no, the parents will say no, you have to do this, you have to study this. The child will say no, I'm not interested in this, I'm going to do something else. This is where my interest is. Right? What is the normal tendency of telling that which job is good? What is the normal tendency?
The remuneration.
Remuneration. What is the result that I am getting? What is the return on my investment? So maximum salary, minimum or no work is what is the equation in the shortest possible time. Correct? You say this job is in scope. In scope means what?
In demand.
In demand, which pays more. Yeah, you will get to the top faster. That is the way it is happening. Yeah. So then what happens to, and we say that yes, Vedas are important, Vedika, all of us are Vedikas. Whosoever is following Vedas is called a Vedika. It is Vedika dharma. Right? We are all following Vedas in one way or the other, we are all following. If you are reading Puranas, also you are a Vedika. You are studying Bhagavad Gita, you are a Vedika. You are just doing a simple puja, you are a Vedika. Yeah? So, we say it is important. When did we realize the importance of that? If we say that it is important, who is going to do that work for us? We need people to do that work. Tomorrow we say nobody is going to the medical profession. We say no, health is important, nobody is going there. Because of what? Because they are not being paid well, etc., etc. What would happen? We say no, it is, my health is, everybody's health is important. So if a society's health has to be protected, the Vedika karmas and that particular studies of the Vedas and perpetuation of that, rituals, everything has to be protected. Then why that is not being made as a first choice? Why I am not choosing a Brahmana karma as my first choice? It is because it is based on my aspiration, my goals. Coming back to goals, I am giving importance to what? Out of the four goals? To artha. And it has got its pitfalls of bandhakatvam, atriptikaratam, dukkham isritam. The atripti part is keeping me in a job. I am looking for a job which gives me maximum remuneration. I have to keep on putting for tomorrow. Not enough. What will happen? Inflation, this, that, etc., etc. Therefore, I am giving importance to the artha pradhanam. I am giving importance to artha as my goal. Therefore, or kama. Artha and kama. Therefore, I am not doing things which I am supposed to do. Right? So what is the easiest way? What do we see even in society, even with all these issues which are there, what do we normally see? What does a child, 50% of the time we will find that. What does the child, which profession do they choose? Mostly. To a large extent.
According to their family.
According to their family. It still happens, though we may not able to perceive that or see in our own limited circle. It happens in a big way even today. Even in modern times. You look at a film star's family. Most of the children will go into the same line, right? Though they will say that no, I didn't want to go, but then I got a chance here, this, that and all. But it has got a reason why it is happening. A doctor's children, mostly they will become doctors, or they are encouraged to become doctors. A lawyer's children are encouraged to become lawyers, or in politics, or auditors. Why? Why is it so? Is it only because of money?
The family thing is being carried on. Family profession is being carried on.
When it is classified as a family profession, right? But still, who gave the classification, this is this family's profession? It is because couple of generations they were in the same profession or same business. But there is a bigger reason, a scientific reason why it happens so. or why it is good to happen
Maybe
so.
due to the genes
Genetic.
which is being
Hmm?
carried forward.
Where does the genetic then that means if they switch over to something they should be totally useless, which also we don't see. They're doing good, some of them go off, do something else, they're good in that
They're
also.
learning the traits right
Ah. They are growing up in an atmosphere which is conducive to that particular profession. You know, a business family, if you see, it is not a normal thing where somebody has got a 9 to 5 job. It is different. You know, the way their schedule, their etc., their system etc., which is there, and therefore the child who is growing up in that kind of an atmosphere is automatically being groomed. You know, they learn automatically within that particular atmosphere which is there.
That's why sometimes we say, like business is there in the blood itself.
Absolutely. So we see that, and that is the way nature is programmed. That is the way nature is programmed. You know, you say that it is in the genes is because they have been brought up that way. You know, right from birth or even before birth, they are being brought up in that particular way. And therefore it becomes easy for them to adapt to that particular job. They can start running faster. The learning curve, as we call it, you know, is very small. They learn the tricks of the trade right from when they are children. They will go sit in a shop or observe, etc., etc. They do that. So that is good for the individual. Is it good for the society to have such a system? Is it good for the society to have such a system? Otherwise, imagine that, you know, this child has learnt everything about trade, but suddenly decides, no, I want to become an engineer. And the father will say, no, where do you want to do this family business, this, that, etc. But after some time, you know, or the reverse happens. They go for engineering, they study engineering, and then come back and again look after the family business. Who has paid for the engineering? Who has paid for the studies? Yeah? You, even though they may say that, yes, I have spent my money to educate you, etc., there is a societal energy which has been spent to make that particular person an engineer, by at least on paper. In today's situation, we find doctors, qualified MBBS, coming and doing some other job due to again pressures of the financial pressures, etc. But it is good for the society to have a system where what you study is being utilized in the profession. So good for the individual as well as good for the person. So first is there's always the choice that you follow the family profession. If that is not suiting or that is not available, then you look at inclination. What is that I can do? That's why you got, you know, tests which are there to assess what is my aptitude, what is my capability, and then I choose a job which is according to that particular thing. Third aspect comes is the monetary aspect. Yes, I am a grihastha, I need money to sustain myself and my family, etc. I have to sustain the other ashramas also. You will see that, you know. The Brahmacharya ashrama, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa ashrama, all of them depend on the grihasthas. So I have to support the society also. But unfortunately today, the choice for choosing a profession, the methodology for choosing a profession has got completely reversed. Where we start from what is the remuneration and then only look at family profession or this, that, or even my inclination, even my aptitude. By the time it is too late. Oh, I thought that this job is paying well, therefore I got into it, but I find that I am not able to cope up with it. Coping up means what? I am not personally designed for this particular job. Right? So this is the karma aspect of it. Okay? So you got karma brahmana, karma kshatriya, karma vaishya and karma shudra. Okay? Now the third aspect comes, which we briefly touched upon, is called guna. Right? So here also we use the same classification as Brahmana guna, Kshatriya guna, Vaishya guna and Shudra guna. Right? What is the Brahmana guna? Where Sattva guna is predominant. Okay? More contemplative, more meditative, more inward focused. Right? Less of action, more of contemplation.
But Sattva.
Hmm?
The word sattva means
Satvikam.
satvika.
Correct.
That's
Sattva
being
guna.
quiet,
Correct.
peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah? Then what is the other two gunas? Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Right? Rajas and Tamas, which is there. So for a Kshatriya, which guna is more predominant?
Rajas.
It has to be Rajoguna. Because Kshatriya is supposed to act. That's why we saw the confusion of Arjuna. He is a Kshatriya, he is ready to act, then suddenly Sattvaguna comes into telling that, or Tamoguna comes into him and telling that, no, I don't want to fight. And then he give reasons that he want to become a sannyasa, a sannyasi. Forgetting his Kshatriya dharma, forgetting his Grihastha dharma, he want to become a sannyasi.
And Rajaguna is also being aggressive in nature.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily aggressive. Yeah? See, Rajoguna, I will come back to that. Yeah, let us look at the Vaishya and then we will come back to that. So, Kshatriya, for a Kshatriya, so these three gunas are there. Yeah, we will have that elaboration when we do the Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Gunatraya Vibhaga. So, for a Brahmana, Sattva is predominant. Is Rajas and Tamas absent in the Brahmana guna?
Yes, but not the amount. Yes.
All of us are combinations of all the three. And even the combination is not fixed. Even during the day itself, we can see that at certain times which guna is predominant. Correct? Therefore, by evening, yes, tamas will set in because that is the mechanism of the body. Tamoguna will set in. At that time, you want to do, even if you want to do action, your body will not permit you to do action. So, Sattva is predominant, you got backed up by Rajas and Tamas. Okay? So, but the Guna Brahmana will know when to be active, when not to act, how to act, everything is known because Rajas is secondary, Sattva is primary. Okay? For a Kshatriya, Rajoguna is Pradhanam, it is dominant. Because he has to do action. Correct? Backed up by what? By Sattva Guna. Secondary is Sattva Guna, third is Tamoguna. Yeah? Tamoguna has to be very, very minimum for a Kshatriya. That's why Arjuna is also called, in terms of one who has 1 over Tamas. Yeah? Udakesha. Yeah? Udakesha means he has 1 over sleep, but it is basically in terms of Tamoguna. He was given a boon also, telling that whenever he feels like that only. what a great blessing, right? What about a Vaishya? For a Vaishya also Rajoguna is predominant. Yeah? But Tamas is second and Sattva becomes third. Yeah? Because for a Guna Vaishya, there is more of a action which it is there, but it is more of selfish actions which are there. Yeah? Now again, don't confuse between Karma Vaishya and Guna Vaishya. Okay? So we'll see how it has to be compared or how it has to be related to. For a Kshatriya, it is, what is predominant? Rajoguna is predominant. It is more of selfless actions which are there. It is not acting for the sake of himself, but it is for the sake of society, for the sake of the country. Then what about Shudra, Guna Shudra? It is more lethargy, more mechanical. Yeah, there is no thought process involved. And what is predominant? Which guna is predominant? Tamoguna is predominant. Second is Rajoguna. And the last is Sattvaguna. Yeah. So this is based on guna, based on swabhava, based on character.
Being lazy.
Being lazy, for themselves, and they become even harmful to the society also because of the laziness. Yeah, even if they say, no, I don't want to do anything, let me be quiet, but still the society is everybody is interdependent, and therefore there is a strain on the society also to maintain a tamasic person. Therefore it is harmful for the society also. Yeah, indirectly. Now coming to the point of gradation, we looked at jati based, we looked at karma based, Now with respect to guna, is there a gradation?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Why? Why there is a gradation based on guna?
Sattva-guna is dominant in Brahman.
Which Brahman?
Guna Brahmana.
We call him a Brahmana because he is Jati Brahmana, or he is a Karma Brahmana or a Guna Brahmana.
Guna
differs from person to person.
Guna differs, change, it is different, depending upon the person. We also saw that in the same day my own gunas, the predominance of the gunas are different. So that means gunas can vary, gunas can change, or the variation, the percentage of gunas can change in a person. Right? Which means what?
There is gradation.
There is a gradation. With respect to gunas, there is a gradation. Where we say a guna brahmana is at a higher position as compared to a guna kshatriya, or then comes the guna vaishya and then the guna shudra. Now who will give me a certificate? What am I? Who will give me a certificate? If I say there is a gradation, my always tendency is to go up. I want to go up. I want to become a guna brahmana. Right? Who will certify? Is there a test for that?
The society.
Through your
But
karma. Through your karmas.
But we told that it is based on jati that the gradation is being done.
No, we looked at the jati point of view first, then we looked at the karma point of view, then we looked at the guna point of view. If I say that, yeah, guna brahmana is the best, and I want to be a guna brahmana, who is going to help me do that? First of all, I should know where I am, correct? If I want to go to point B, I should know that I am in point A, this is the distance which I have to go. So therefore, I have to increase the sattva guna in myself. Is it possible to increase the gunas? Change the proportion of the gunas? It is possible for human beings. Yeah? For a human being, it is possible. Therefore, what should I do? Put it in my goals. That one of my goals now become to become a guna brahmana. So once the goals are there, whom should I go to consult? What should I do to become a guna brahmana? I should go to the shastras. Shastra will tell how I can increase my level of sattva, reduce my tamas, increase. Can I jump directly from tamas to sattva? That is why in this combination, you did not find tamas and sattvic being together anywhere. The first one was SRT, sattva, rajas and tamas. Second one was RST. There it is together but not in the reverse way. Yeah? Then you got rajas, tamas and then sattva. Then tamas, rajas and sattvic. You won't find tamas, sattva and then rajas. That classification is not there. Yeah? So that is where one of the primary thing is given in the form of our rituals, our traditions, our festivals, is to shake us from the tamas. The Shastra says, at least get up and do something. Do for your sake. Do for your own selfish reasons. Go and earn money. Have artha as your goal, as kama as your goal, no problem. Within the limits of dharma, do it, but at least go and do something. Shake out the tamas. Yeah? So that is where our traditions are. It is all inbuilt in our tradition to guide us from tamas to sattva through rajas. Through rajas, it guides us into sattva guna. Yeah? So therefore we have to do something about it. Everybody will say, no? You get up and do something. Yeah? So that is where, otherwise an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So it will only slip into negative thoughts, negative tendencies and negative actions. Okay? So therefore gradation is there. With respect to guna, gradation is there. And all the sadhanas which are given, starting from what my kula dharma is, what is my desha dharma, what is happening in my village, etc., etc., is all given with the framework. It is all a sugar-coated pill actually. In terms of telling that yes, you have to do this, that, but the primary aim, what the Shastras put us through, is in terms of telling us to guide towards Sattvic, towards the Sattva nature. For what? So that I realign my goals. Where should with respect to dharmartha kama moksha, what should be the priority now? What should be the priority?
Moksha.
Priority should be moksha. So we should start with moksha, dharma, artha and kama. Correct? Dharma, of course, it has to be there inbuilt throughout. Whatever we are doing, dharma should be inbuilt there. So it is again to realign the goals and then see which is the priority. So even when we look at the samskaras which are there, we will come back in detail later. Starting from your garbhadana, pumsavana, simantonnayana, jatakarma, karnaveda, all these things which are given. When the jatakarma is done, what is being told in the child's ear? The first words which are uttered into we say we are naming ceremony. We select a name and that's all fine, because for transactional purpose you need a name. You need the father's name or mother's name along with that to identify who this person is. Then only transaction is possible. In transaction there will be duality. Duality has to be there. Otherwise transaction is not possible. If everything is one, there is no transaction. But as per our rituals, what is the first thing which is told in the ears of the child? He is saying that you are Brahman. This is what is told. The mantras which are used, the meaning is you are Brahman. The child is reminded that though you have come out, in this world, due to your own past karmas, you have been born in this particular family now, but don't forget you are Brahman. And then the other name is given for a purpose of transactional. In the Sandhyavandana ritual it comes, Brahmaiva aham asmi. Yeah. I am reminding, every day I am reminding myself, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. So the purpose of rituals, the mantras, if we analyze, it is inbuilt in such a way. We take the sankalpa, Chaturvida Phala Purushartha Siddhyartham. We know Chaturvida Phala Purushartha, it is dharmartha kama moksha. I am asking for moksha. Whatever puja I am doing, every day I am asking for moksha. So someday it will come. But then consciously if I start doing it, I can realign my priority. They say, okay, if you have to do this, Sattva Guna should increase. Oh, how should I increase Sattva Guna? Then they'll say, now you have come. Second question. So this is the second step. How should I do this? What should I do for this? What should I not do it? That's why the Ashtanga Yoga starts with Yama and then only Niyama. Yeah? It starts with the don'ts first. When you step on I say, don't do this, don't do this. The child also said, don't do this, don't touch this, don't go there, don't go here. The don'ts first. So you build a boundary, then the do's. Then say, now build on that. The do's which are there. Then you start with asana, pranayama, pratyahara. Yeah? Meditation, the dhyana comes at the last, 7th step. So before dhyana, we should go through 6 other steps. So Shastra guide us in terms of what. So in Yama also 5 aspects are there. In Niyama 5 aspects are there. Drilled out one by one, one by one. You say, do we have to do all this thing? Then it's better not to know about it. Correct? That is one easy way of escaping. But again it comes back. It comes back in terms of, it all starts with the questioning with respect to, yes, I am pursuing artha, I am pursuing kama. But again I am finding that I am in a problem, happiness is not permanent, therefore what I should do, the basic question comes, so therefore I have to again come back to the same process. Okay? We need to continue this before even going to ashrama vyavastha, because we need to reconcile now. Based on jati, based on karma, based on guna. And if it is based on, if the division is only based on karma, who decided based on jati? Who told that, yes, this is a Brahmana Kula or this is a Kshatriya Kula? Who decided that?
People themselves.
People decided, but again, there was a reason for that. There was a basis for that. Yeah? How do you say, oh, this is now a business family? You say, oh, this is a doctor family. This is a lawyer family. That's also a division, no? Correct? This is a political family.
They have been doing it for generations.
Once it has been done over and over for so many generations, and it's not that, it is a bad thing. It's that they have perfected that. Being within the family, they have perfected that because there's mutual support which is available. When we say, oh, this is IT family. Yeah? This is a banker's family. With all this, it is there prevalent. All these divisions are prevalent, even in it is applicable for any time. It is even whether it is modern times, olden times, it's all applicable. In different forms, it is applicable. It automatically sets in based on what you have been doing for so many years or so many generations together. Right? Therefore, automatically it becomes that as per jati, the karma becomes as the first choice. That's where when we discussed about how do you choose your karma, we said the first choice is based on what your family has been doing. Correct?
By birth.
You say heredity, you say it's in the genes, etc. But it's like the process of natural breeding. It's nature's way of protecting nature, protecting the individual, protecting each and every species. Every species adopts this particular principle. Right? Now the question is, why am I born in this particular family? Yeah? We said, as per jati, I don't have a choice. But when we look at law of karma, we will come back to that again in terms of, did I really choose to be in this particular family? In this particular, and then all these laws, all these rules which are put on me in terms of telling, because you are born in this particular place, these are the dharmas, kula dharma, vishesha dharma which is applicable to you. You say, no, I didn't know, I was just born here. I didn't choose this. I can escape by telling that, but we'll come back with respect to prarabdha karma,
Karma phala.
the karma phalas which are there, as to how is it that I have chosen. How can I say that I have chosen to be born in this particular place? Okay. So just to complete that sequence there, so then karma becomes the same as what my jati is. Yeah, let us forget about the four classifications. Whatever my jati is, that becomes the first choice of karma which is there. Now within the karma, can my guna be different? Can I be a karma kshatriya but a guna brahmana?
Yes.
Is it possible? It is possible, because guna is based on how I am doing, not based on what I am doing, but how I am approaching my whole life, not just my karma. My attitude is what is guiding or being termed as my guna. Therefore, a karma brahmana can be a guna shudra based on their attitude of what they are doing. Right? Whereas a karma shudra can be a guna brahmana. There is no stopping. That's why you say there is a gradation. Only if there is a gradation, I have a incentive to work towards it. If they say, no, you joined as a chaprasi and you will remain a chaprasi entire life, will there be an incentive for me to better myself? Yeah? The maximum I will do is to ensure that my job is safe for my entire life. But if I am told, no, you can become the CEO, how can I become? Oh, you have to do like this. First of all, perform your duty first. You cannot neglect your duty. Continue to do your duty, but write this exam. You can study this. You can do this. Go to the next level. You can become. If that choice is given, then I have an incentive to work towards it. Correct? Therefore, there is a gradation in that. So, they are not 100%, they are not equated one to one. Like a jati brahmana equals jati, is a karma brahmana equals a guna brahmana. It doesn't work that way. Right? So there is a gradation, there is a choice, and therefore I can work towards the aspect of free will comes here as to what my choice is, what my goal is, and how I can work towards that. Okay? That these two topics, Varna Dharma and Ashrama Dharma, something where a lot of questions will be there. This I really encourage, please crystallize your thoughts, think about it during the week, or if there are any questions now, you can look at it briefly and then can continue next week also. Any thoughts which comes immediately to the mind?
So you said that all the jatis are equal in the society. Then why is it so very necessary to become a brahmana? And why do we Guna Brahmana? Why don't I want to be Guna Kshatriya? Why don't I want to be a Guna Vaisya?
Good question. What does it indicate by telling that I am a Guna Brahmana?
The Sattva Guna is predominant.
When I say that a Guna Brahmana, the goal should be moving towards a Guna Brahmana, the Guna Brahmana indicates that I am working more selflessly for the benefit of the society.
Isn't that what the Kshatriya is also doing?
Not 100%. Not 100%. So that is where there is a gradation of slowly moving. In terms of even renouncing actions, renouncing activity, and then moving towards a state where whatever I am doing automatically is 100% for the benefit of others. Whatever I am doing for my benefit is just for sustenance of this body alone. Balance, everything is for the sake of the world. That is where the Guna Brahmana, the Brahmana Guna comes in. Yeah? Nishkama, 100% Nishkama Karma. Yeah? Whereas, the other end of the spectrum is the Guna Shudra, where I am not just doing selfishly, but also doing actions which are harmful to others, without any consideration to others. Yeah? Then you go into Guna Vaisya, where it is, I am not harming others, but whatever I am doing is for my own benefit and for my immediate family. Then you come to Guna Kshatriya, where yes, I am doing to take care of myself, but as well as for the sake of others, without harming anybody.
In the beginning, this hierarchy has been there, that Brahmanas are considered the one.
The Guna Brahmana. Yes. But unfortunately, it has been equated with jati. It has been equated because of jati. It has been equated with karma, and therefore this whole confusions on the society. That's exactly what Arjuna's argument was when he was telling why he should run away. He was talking about Varna Sankara. It was exactly from this standpoint also, in terms of telling that, where Arjuna was talking about Varna Sankara, in terms of telling if all the men go to war and they die in the war, what will happen to society? Once the family is not protected, then you can't protect the way the families interact with each other. And therefore there will be confusions. He was talking about confusion. He did not 100% say that there will be downfall, but once confusion is there, automatically it precedes, it is followed by the downfall of the individual and downfall of the society. Because the infrastructure which is there, it breaks down. Yeah? If signals are not working, roads are not proper, what will happen? Everybody driving in different directions. You will have nobody is going to achieve their goals. Okay. So we'll look at, continue this point next week, and then look at the Ashtama Dharma also. The Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa, and how it is linked into these two, and then how it is linked to the goals, how it is linked to Shastras. We'll look at that also. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.